Say my name.
Warner Brothers logo, the dark and stormy night imagery, the sweeping score, the pan down to a snowy road. Are we sure this isn't a Harry Potter movie?
I admit, I am impressed that you didn't begin this video saying,
Огонь на подавление! Враг сзади по левому флангу!
However, this is the beginning of like a million pop culture references in this video, and as this is EU CinemaSins, Jeremy makes a pop culture reference.
You can't go crying to other people all the time. A man needs to know when to stand up for himself.
Toxic masculinity.
Oh, off with these garbage fake SJW talking points. Stating that a man needs to know when to stand up for himself is in no way toxic. Literally, swap the genders and your commentary would be deemed sexist.
It's a caterpillar, which must mean something, because in the theater, I swear I heard the sound of at least a dozen comic book boners launching simultaneously.
This caterpillar is Mr. Mind, a worm from Venus with a genius-level intellect and one of Captain Marvel's most dangerous enemies. I would have thought you were more familiar with this particular villain, considering he should be an inspiration for you. You know, because he's a 2-inch worm that can do a lot of damage. Also, Jeremy says boner.
I am the last of the Council of Wizards.
God damn it, I wrote a whole sin about how Jamon Hansu was double-dipping in Marvel and DC, and that he was probably the only one to have done that, only to realize like a million actors and actresses have done that. Halle Berry was Storm and Catwoman, so for making me think about Catwoman, somehow this movie gets a sin.
So, this movie gets a sin because Catwoman was bad. CinemaSins, ladies and gentlemen.
He lies. Don't be his champion. We can give you power.
When the Shazamily forefathers put this throne room together, who decided it was a good idea to design the apparently still conscious and active embodiments of evil as part of the main hallway decor?
Shazam? I mean, it's quite obvious that once Shazam captured the enemies of man, he wanted them in an area that he could keep an eye on them.
No! Jesus, Shazam, last minute much? If Thaddeus weren't so goddamn painfully slow at grabbing his balls, you'd be out of luck.
This was a test for Savannah, meaning Shazam wanted to see if he'd go for it. Besides, are you suggesting that you're fast at grabbing balls?
You will never be worthy.
Thanks, asshole. I mean, old Shazam brought Thaddeus here with no context, exposited a tiny bit, and now he insults him for not being a good enough Neo Shazam?
As I just explained, Shazam was testing Savannah, meaning that after he'd shown that he was unable to resist being tempted by the enemies of man, he was no longer deemed worthy.
You're gonna be okay. You did this.
Damn, this family is so committed to shaming this f***ing kid that the dickhead older brother would rather do that than look for help for his dying dickhead dad.
Dying? Okay, dude, you said a few sins ago that you saw this movie in the theaters, so you know his dad isn't dying here and is only paralyzed. So this is Jeremy feigns ignorance cliche.
Or how I learned to stop worrying and love Captain Marvel.
You already made this Doctor Strangelove pop culture reference in the Bumblebee video. Running out of material there?
Open this up right now, kid. Very good, very funny.
Man, these are some tolerant-ass cops. Billy lured them into what could be a dangerous crime scene, locked them in a pawn shop, and commandeered their cruiser. I know his motives are benign, but the cops don't know that.
What are you trying to say here? That the cops should just pull out their guns and blast the kid because he pulled a fast one on them? The NRA would love you.
Also, is this seriously the only way he can track down another Batson? This is 2019, man. Everyone's findable. You seriously don't think Billy's mom has a f***ing Instagram account?
Jeremy thinks you can find a person's exact location using Instagram.
But I wanted a tiger.
Oh, but this is the real prize, baby. You can use that your whole life. You'll always find your way.
Movie steals the give a compass as a gift move from Big. And really, a lot of from Big, right?
Captain Marvel debuted in the comics in 1939, which means the character precedes Big by 49 years.
That's what happens when you suck!
Direct video feed of me editing CinemaSins videos somehow makes it into the movie.
Funny. And here I thought this was a scene of me writing for this video.
It's the old Batarang. Feel how sharp.
Okay, this world obviously exists in the DC universe since Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are all featured here. But if that's the case, then why set this in a real-ass city like Philly? If Gotham and Metropolis exist, where the hell are they located? On the I-95 corridor?
As I already explained in the Murder Man vs. Boring Man video, Gotham and Metropolis are located in New Jersey and Delaware respectively. Real cities obviously exist in DC. And speaking of DC, in that same movie, Superman went to court in Washington. DC.
Also, I do have to take a sin off for Vincent and Rosa here, who are great models of actual foster parents that care. There are so many f***ing depictions of awfulness from foster kids in movies that this is a breath of fresh air.
Agreed.
He called himself a wizard, even just like a wizard from Harry Potter.
Wait. Harry Potter also exists in the same universe as Superman and the other metahumans? Meaning that in this movie's world, J.K. Rowling said, you know what, there's not enough of a sense of mysticism and wonder around me. I think I'll invent a wizard and a magical school that people can read and escape to a new world, instead of literally looking out their windows and seeing an alien flying around saving people. I'll even include broomsticks.
Well, this is dumb because J.K. Rowling began writing Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in 1990 and finished the novel in 1995. It was published in 1997, and since Superman didn't learn how to fly until roughly 2013, this means that Harry Potter had been a thing at least 16 years before superheroes were. And no, we're not counting Wonder Woman because her existence wasn't mainstream yet.
Recurrent imagery has proven very common in cases of mass hysteria.
I've heard about people seeing cats and dogs living together.
Jeremy makes a Ghostbusters pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the film cliche.
Also, Sin Ball. That's a ball of sins, man. How do I not have a replica of this on my kitchen table?
Jeremy sins something he likes cliche.
Dude, what is up with the over-the-top dickwads in this movie? I thought Thaddeus' family was bad, but these motherfuckers are so into assholery that they've abandoned their truck in the school parking lot just to track Billy down to the f***ing subway. Are people extra dickish in Philadelphia? Wait, I think I just answered my own question.
CinemaSins watches The Birdman.
He used his power for revenge, releasing the 7 deadly sins into your world.
That's a real shame and all, but when did this happen? Were people not sinning at all to that point? Or just not deadly sinning? I'm sinning the fact that these sinners weren't previously sinny enough, and that's that.
The Shazam comics borrow elements from the Christian and Greek mythologies. Specifically in Christian mythology, sin didn't exist until the fall of man. Combining these elements, Black Adam releasing the sins represents the fall of man, which precludes a period of time where humans were altruistic.
Millions of lives were lost.
Well, I'm sure wrath and envy were pretty rough to deal with, but did lust and pride really take a ton of people out? And if so, was it really all that bad?
Well, lust and pride are bad because they can cause people to experience the other sins. For example, if you are proud and someone that you perceive to be better than you shows up, you'll then experience envy and perhaps even wrath. Lust can also cause one to feel envy and so on.
The wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules.
Blah blah A for Atlas, blah blah Z for Zeus. Get it? It's an acronym. Many people don't know this, but Jeremy is also an acronym for all my powers. The good looks of Jim Neighbors.
Skip!
Come on, man, this is public goddamn transit. A dude in a superhero costume wouldn't cause anyone to bat a f***ing eyelash. That's so common, ironically enough, I wrote a very similar sin in Captain Marvel.
Yes, as noted earlier, you are running out of material. And as I noted in the Captain Marvel video, these people completely stand out. I mean, Billy is wearing a bright red Play-Doh outfit for f***'s sake.
Within the first few minutes of trying to figure out his superpower, Shazam encounters a mugging and an armed robbery. Either Philadelphia's got a Gotham-level crime problem, or this movie has a DCEU-level convenience problem. Or maybe both.
I mean, this is Philadelphia.
Shoot him in the face.
Shoot me in the face! In the face?
Okay, Billy trying to figure out his powers was fun earlier, but this is just dumb. From the risks they immediately take, to the number of bullets the thugs have, to the complicity of these assholes being willing to commit murder in the service of knocking off one convenience store. It's so dumb for a pretty smart movie.
So let me get this straight. You honestly believe it's dumb that criminals who brought loaded guns to a convenience store they planned on robbing were willing to commit murder? What the hell did you think the guns were for?
I totally get why Rocky was training so hard to get up here.
Jesus Christ, this movie has more winking pop culture references than an episode of CinemaSins.
CinemaSins would be excellent at The Birdman.
Also, it's pretty impressive that they're able to have this conversation all alone at the top of a huge tourist attraction with a big-ass Christmas tree on it. Is it really that late at night?
I mean, yeah. If you were actually doing your job, you'd have heard Billy tell Freddy this.
It's Billy! You asked me, flight or invisibility, and I thought that was stupid, but now I look like this and I need your help. Meet me back here after lights out.
Then, after they meet, Freddy shows his phone indicating that it is 11:30 p.m. before they head to the convenience store. So one can assume it's sometime after 12 a.m. when they're sitting on these steps. Dude, I thought you were CinemaSins.
Oh, brother.
Thank God Thad identified his brother by name, or I'd have completely lost the context of this relationship.
He did not identify his brother by name here. He actually said his brother's name before that.
Well, now I have proof.
That's enough, Thad. Dear Sid.
This to me indicates that you were lost in this context and attempted to manipulate the scene to pretend the film did otherwise for your stupid-ass audience. Unfortunately for you, I exist.
Hey kids, wanna go see the super fun movie where a kid gets superpowers and also nightmare creatures eat the heads off people? Don't worry, we won't show you any boobs, so you'll be fine. Signed, the MPAA.
Once again, just because a film is about comic book heroes doesn't mean that it's for kids. This film was rated PG-13 in the US, and Googly Shanks, or whatever wacky name the British use for movie ratings.
Listen, the last thing we need is a remake of The Mist. I loved it, but that devastated me.
It's at this point that I put a delicious hint of lime Tostito in my mouth and go, "You patting the sink out, bro?"
Oh my god! I don't think that's gonna buff out.
Not that I'm rooting for anything to happen to Freddy, but these two dicks had massive bully boners yesterday, and now Freddy gets this close to him, insults them, and they do nothing?
It's called shock, Jeremy, like my reaction to you saying dick fucks and bully boners in the same sentence.
I'm so sorry I'm late. I got held up at the business office doing all the work stuff.
Why the hell did it take DC this f***ing long to make a funny movie? Damn it, I really want to remove a sin here, but it took so long for DC to make a funny movie. And the Lego Batman movie is a whole different thing, so that doesn't count.
Jeremy sends something he likes and does his fake f***ing laugh. And in the event you don't believe this is a fake laugh, here's a Reddit post of Jeremy admitting his laughs are always fake. Also,
but it took so long for DC to make a funny movie. And the Lego Batman movie is a whole different thing, so that doesn't count.
So this is exactly what I've been saying for the longest time. This reasoning is precisely why movies like Blade or Logan aren't Marvel movies. You see, you can have a character from a comic book and not call it a DC or Marvel movie. If it's not made by Marvel Studios, it ain't a Marvel movie. Otherwise, Lego Batman and even Hollywoodland are both DC movies.
Har 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 movie. Seriously, Freddy's actively trying to kill Billy.
Okay, how else would you test the limits and abilities of a superhero? No, seriously.
Blatant f***ing theft. Like, I don't know exactly how old they are, but they're definitely, I shouldn't use my magical superpowers to steal from a f***ing bank years old.
I gotta be honest with you. Every single time I fantasize about having superpowers, my first thought was literally to rob a bank. Spider-Man proved that even though you've got amazing powers, you can still be a broke ass.
Wait, is this supposed to be the same day as they left school? So they went all the way to the warehouse, did the entire training montage, uploaded all those videos to YouTube, jumped into the building, traveled to the mall to hang out for a while, went to the titty twister, robbed the ATM, then bought all this and installed it all before they even head to the real estate office?
Well, considering Freddy is clearly wearing different clothing, no, this isn't supposed to be the same day. CinemaSins.
Costume stupid, big white cape like he's getting married or something.
Wait, what? Are wedding capes a thing? I caught because I wanted to go with ascots instead of bow ties, and I could have worn a cape?
Jesus Christ, Jeremy, he's referring to the wedding gown women wear. Put two and two together for f***'s sake.
You gotta look out for you, and get as far away from this place as you can.
Shazam-splaining.
Using the term mansplaining in another Captain Marvel movie.
So it seems Philadelphia has gotten an early Christmas present in the form of its very own superhero.
Why isn't this a bigger deal? Like when Batman and Superman were running around their towns, they were surrounded by the press. But Shazam saves a city bus and they only send one f***ing reporter?
It's probably because ever since the reveal of Flash, Aquaman, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, superheroes aren't really that big a deal.
These shopping bags are such obvious CG, and I totally noticed this and figured that out on my own.
What kind of bullshit is this? Oh, I know. Pointing things out on the screen cliche.
I let go, but it was by accident. I saw you. What?
Jesus Christ, this origin story is worse than all the times Bruce Wayne's parents were killed combined. Setting aside how creepily young Marilyn was when she had Billy, she's describing her abandonment of him in the middle of a public place in the freezing goddamn cold. And Billy still turned out to be somewhat affable. So this sin is for Bruce ending up as such a whiny bitch.
These are completely different circumstances, though. Billy was abandoned by his mother, and Bruce's parents were killed in front of him. One is a much more traumatizing event, you douchebag.
Landlines.
Everything wrong with Shazam, ladies and gentlemen. Phones.
We separate the sins from the eye, and he's just an old man.
Hey, I get told something like that multiple times per day.
What? I only make videos like 2 times a week.
Are you making some of my big evil guy's speech right now or something? You're like a mile away from me.
Hilarious moment, honestly. But if that is doing this cliche monologuing, why isn't he any closer?
Sinning this scene.
Still better than the actual movie.
Yep.
7 realms are about to be ours.
Man, DC's reboot of Jiminy Cricket is gritty as hell.
Oh, yeah. Ha 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 ha. Funny. Because not paying attention is hilarious. And when the next movie comes out, what? Who is this guy? He was never introduced in any movie ever.
these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the other by the time I finish this song?